Hi, Ralph Watson here. It is now 7 p.m. here in the UK, so we're going live. And the subject for this evening's conversation is fake it till you make it. So, why are we here? We're here because a couple of days ago somebody posted a question on one of the chat groups saying, fake it till you make it, what do you think? And quite a few people uh, responded to that. I threw in my two penneth, and so I was asked if I would do a Facebook Live to just expand on that. So that's what I'm here to do this evening, to talk about this famous expression, fake it till you make it. What I want to do is to put this into the frame of the context of my background in the world of NLP, coaching and hypnotherapy. I've been around the world of NLP for almost 20 years now. For my sins, I've been certified as a master trainer, which means that many people kind of assume that I know what I'm talking about. And some of the time, I assume that I know what I'm talking about. Also, my work as a professional coach, and I've been a practicing hypnotherapist for some years as well, although I tend not to do much of that these days as I focus mainly in the corporate world. So what is the connection between all that and fake it till you make it? Well, first of all, there's the linguistics aspect of the thing, and that is that so many people address this word fake and assume that it must therefore mean that something is artificial, it's unreal. And there is very much interpretation on this of being a bad thing. So what I'm going to give you really here this evening is my opinion and my kind of background from the world of NLP. My opinion of the expression fake it to make it is that it's a great one when it's used in the right context. Now, the problem is that a lot of people tend to think that that simply means that it's okay to just be fake, to get on stage and just be artificial. That's not actually the true source of that message, fake it till you make it. So here's my take on it. Here is my take on it. And it comes really from the origins of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. There is a presupposition, an underpinning belief in the world of NLP, and that is this, that we have all the resources that we need in order to succeed. So what does that mean? It means that within us, we have hardwired in all of the personal resource states that are necessary for us to function as brilliant, excellent human beings. In other words, we are capable of experiencing confidence, creativity, calm, peacefulness, relaxation, loving, any one of a number of natural resource states. And the expression "we have all the resources we need in order to succeed" comes from the work of a man called Milton Erickson. And Erickson was, and to many is still regarded as, the father of hypnotherapy. At the peak of his career, he was seeing somewhere in the region of 10 clients a day with phenomenal success. And he believed that his patients, as he called them, had within them all of the resources that they needed in order to succeed in life. It was simply that life had blinkered them. Life had perhaps funneled them away from having what they needed ready at their fingertips. And life does that, you can be a very confident person and then something happens and it's almost as if that confidence has been erased, wiped out. It hasn't. It's simply been hidden from you. It's as if the world has gone, oh, confident? Not anymore. So Milton Erickson's role, if you like, was to reconnect people with that by enabling them to find it, by enabling them to tap into it, by enabling them to utilize it. And let's step even further on in understanding exactly what states are. You see, within us, we interpret at an unconscious level our whole experience of the world. And we experience that world through our senses, what we see, what we hear, what we taste, what we smell, what we touch. And so all of our memories, all of our experiences are encoded on our neck-top computer, on our hard drive, as combinations of those things. And when we recall an experience to mind, what we do is we recall the combination of those modalities and we connect to them something extra. We connect to them an emotional meaning. And what happens then is that emotion drives a psychophysiological response. In other words, your psychological response stimulates a physical response in you, and that drives the state. So if you imagine somebody who really doesn't like something like, say, spiders, when they see a spider, their internal process creates that psychological and physiological response to what they have seen. And that psychophysiological response is generally referred to as a state. Now, let's go backwards a little bit to fake it till you make it. As a coach and as a trainer, I frequently work with people who have lost connection with a specific state that they need. Now, this could be a manager at junior, middle, or senior level who has lost connection with the total confidence that they feel they need in order to stand up and give a presentation. I work with people who want to become professional speakers, public speakers, and yet the first thing they say to me is, I'd love to do that, but I just don't have the confidence. What they mean is they'd love to do that. They've lost the connection with the confidence, or they believe that they don't have the confidence to do it. So my job as a coach or as a trainer is to reconnect them with that. And in the world of NLP, we use what we call an as-if frame. And the way that works is this. I encourage my student, my participant, my client, whatever you want to describe them as, to take a moment to think about someone that they may admire. Now, that person may be living or dead, real or fictional. The key is that person has the confidence that they want to experience. I have them bring that person to mind, think about them, focus on them, and begin to adopt the kind of physiology that person would demonstrate in terms of their breathing, their posture, their projection. What they're doing now, in effect, is they're using their external behavior to begin to connect with their internal thought process, and the two of those begin to impact on their state. Now, what's really happening at an unconscious level is we are creating a reference, a frame of reference for the unconscious mind so that it knows what it is looking for in reconnecting with that confident state. And what it does is it kind of goes through its Rolodex, for those of you who remember a Rolodex, and the unconscious mind is going, let me see. So we've got this one, this one. Here it is. This is the confident state. And it will then pop it into the slot somewhere here in your neck-top computer, and that begins to impact on the physiology. Now, if that person does that, rehearses that a few times, it begins to re-educate the unconscious mind in order to be able to do what it wants to do. I'm just going to pause for a moment and look. I can see there's a few people joined us. If you're online and listening, hit the like button so I know that you're there. And that encourages me not to think that I'm talking to myself. So, switch off the pause button. What we've done is re-educated the mind to be able to do what it wants to do. And the object of the exercise is to give people the opportunity to rehearse that state over a short period of time so that they begin to grow it within themselves. The unconscious mind finds it quicker and quicker. In the world of hypnotherapy, there is a phrase, a word, and that word is fractionation. Fractionation. And what that means is that each time you trigger that state, or your client triggers that state in themselves, the unconscious mind learns to do it quicker and quicker and quicker. And so it does it in fractions of the time, because the unconscious mind is great at doing what I call one-shot learning. So if something happens, it learns. So now we're re-educating the unconscious in order to be able to do it. If we then go through a process called future pacing, where we enable the unconscious mind to rehearse it in context, then it begins to connect the two. So what I do there is I invite the client or the student or whoever to, in their mind, step onto that stage or step up in front of that group or switch on the Facebook Live and feel in themselves their reconnection with the confidence to do it. And what happens is that in doing that, that cements in the learning for the unconscious mind. Now, the necessity here really is that you do this and they practice this before going into the live context. You see, simply having someone imagine being hyper-confident and then walking out in front of a group and pretending to be is not going to fulfill the need. All that's going to do potentially is have them have to wear the mask to literally be fake. So we run the process before they step in front of the group, before they step on the stage. Doesn't matter what they are or who they are or what the state is. The as-if frame will enable them to adopt it, learn it, practice it, and utilize it. And you can actually begin to build these as bundles. For example, I have people who come to me as managers, and one of the key things that they're suddenly expected to do is to address a meeting, a team meeting. Now, it could be a sales meeting, it could be a board meeting, whatever. They've never done it before. They desperately want to make a good showing. They feel that they don't have the confidence to do it, that they may not have the authority to do it, that they may not have the charisma to do it. So what you can do now is you can as if frame these. So you can as if frame the confidence and have them practice, as if frame the charisma and have them practice that. You can as if the authority. And by authority, I don't mean the bossiness, but that gravitas that people have when they step in front of an audience or they stand up in a presentation and the people in the room know that this person knows what they're speaking about. That's what I mean by authority. So you can have them practice each one of those and then connect them together. Now, for those of you who are familiar with NLP, and I think I can see Jenny there. Jenny, hi Jenny. What you can do then is you can create this physiology of excellence by anchoring those states for that person. And what that means then is that at a simple trigger. That trigger can be a word that they use or an object. I remember going back to my early days as a trainer, I used to put a little piece of blue tack on the back of the flip chart stand. And I would simply run my finger over this little piece of blue tack and boom, it would fire those states for me. So I could feel everything that I needed to feel. So you can set these as a stacked anchor, as we call it, and that will enable then that person to be able to perform as they want to perform. And this works phenomenally well. I've actually got a very good friend who has done a lot of coaching at the National Theatre, working with some of the top professional actors in the business. People who you would not expect to have stage fright, because you see them all the time on the TV screen or on the film screen. And yet when it comes to walking out onto the stage for a live production, they are a mess. And what she does with them is she goes through this process of anchoring these personal resources so that they are able to go out there and do it. So they are not faking. They are actually tapping into the state, the positive resources they need in order to go out there and do the job that they want to do. So for me, there are two very different things. There's fake it till you make it. Works great if you're talking about an as-if frame. If you are simply going out there and pretending, then no, that doesn't work for me, because that really is just being fake. And you can put this into any context you like. So I hope that that helps you folks. I'm happy to answer any questions. I think Majid's with us. Hi, Majid. Shakil is with us. Hi, Shakil. How are you guys? Nice to see you. If you have questions, please ask them. I'm just flipping over so I've got a piece of paper to write on if I need to. So please ask away. I am all yours. If anyone wants me to do a quick recap, please let me know and I will do so. This is where I count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, everybody's very quiet. Let me run that back for you. So, quick rewind. We have all the resources we need to succeed, which means within us, we are born with everything that we need to be amazing human beings. We have the right to experience the confidence, the happiness, the calm, the peace, the love, the whatever emotional state you want to come up with. We have the right and the resource to enjoy that. Life hides it from us. Life blinkers us. In working as a coach and as a trainer, whether it be with managers and executives in the business world, with people who are training to be trainers, with people who are training to be public speakers, with people who are just wanting to run their business well, so they want to be able to pitch their business. You know how many people go to a networking meeting and they hide at the back because they're terrified of that elevator pitch 1 minute? It's reconnecting those people with what they need in order to do it. Fake it till you make it transfers over from the world of NLP to the as-if frame. And the as-if frame simply says to somebody, think about a person that you recognize the qualities that you want to have. For example, think of a person who is alive or dead, real or fictional, who has the supreme confidence that you want to have. Now, some years ago, I worked with a young lady who had serious confidence issues. She was attending special classes at a college. They wanted to put her into a work placement, and it was terrifying her. her parents contacted me and said, can you do some work with our daughter? I said, I'd love to. What I did was, in effect, I said to this young lady, so who's your hero? Who is the person that you admire and you think would be able to do exactly what you want to be able to do? And she smiled and said, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So what we did was we utilized Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I bought the popcorn. We sat down in front of the TV and we watched some episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer together. And I got this young lady to jot down situations in which Buffy demonstrated all the confidence, all the projection that she wanted to have. And then I got her to imagine herself as having that power. Now, I did not encourage her to go out into the world driving wooden stakes through the chest of anyone she didn't like. What I did was to encourage her to demonstrate that confidence, to actually have that physiology, that bounce in her step. As a result of a few short sessions, that young lady went on to do her work placement and then went on to actually full-time employment as a receptionist in an engineering company, which meant that she was actually meeting members of the engineering profession and the public on a daily basis and doing a great job doing so. So acting as if will get you there. Now, I've got a couple of questions coming up here, so let me just have a quick look. Majid says, hi Ralph, is there a way to use NLP on yourself and create an as if frame for yourself? Great question. And the answer is yes. There is a thing called the Mercedes model. And it's called the Mercedes model because it's basically, if you take a circle and divide it into 3, it looks like the Mercedes badge. But the Mercedes model is based on 3 things: our external behavior, our internal thought processes, and our internal state, our feelings. So that is, in effect, what you do, what you think, and what you feel. So if you find yourself somewhere quiet to sit, bring to mind a person that you would really want to be like. Imagine you're watching them on the stage doing what it is that you want to be able to do. Look at their physiology. Look at the way they stand. Look at the way they breathe. Look at the way they posture themselves, and put yourself into that. So that in effect what you're doing is you are faking being them. Put yourself into that. Now what happens then as you do that is that begins to impact the internal process of your unconscious mind. And it connects the external behavior and the thought process, and it goes, aha, I know what you're looking for. And bingo, it brings into play the state. Now, if you do that for yourself and you do it several times, the magic number is 3. You see, whenever something happens 3 or more times, the unconscious mind perceives it to be a pattern. And we as human beings look for patterns. So as you do that, it will begin to work for you. And I'll tell you the absolute truth with my hand on my heart. And I was with some members of my family at the weekend who said to me, you've changed so much. And I said, what do you mean? They said, well, because I was the eldest of 5 kids growing up. And they said, you were always the quiet one. You were always the shy one. And now look at you. And I thought this through. And actually what I'd been doing in my early career as a trainer was modeling, in other words, studying and working with the physiology and the strategies and the patterns of some of the best trainers and the best presenters that I could find. And in adopting that, what I was doing was re-educating my mind. So these days, I don't think anyone, could accuse me of being shy or quiet. So the answer, Majid, is yes, you can. Happy to get together sometime and I'll actually show you physically how to do that. Shaquille says, so is faking till you make it a legitimate strategy to help you become the person you can become and want to become? My answer to that is a resounding yes, as long as what you're doing is faking it until you make it. You see, the title of this little session is don't just fake it, make it. The idea is that you do it in such a way that you're actually rehearsing, so the mind learns and then it will reproduce it. And my suggestion to everybody is do this before you start walking onto stage. Do this before it has to be done in a live context, because then you're ready. There will always be that moment when you first step out there, but you're ready for that. You're ready for that because you have put yourself where you want to be. And everybody has the right to be the person that they want to be. Everybody has the right to be excellent, to enjoy their life, to enjoy their work. And so using the as if frame will enable you to do that. So I hope that answers your question, Shaquille. Hi, Jimmy. I hope you're well. Any further questions for me? Marlene, she says, made it. Hi, Marlene. Nice to see you. Okay, so quick recap. Fake it till you make it in the right context. Brilliant. Do it, work with it. It's called an as-if frame in the world of NLP, and it's based on some sound experience. You know, I've been working with this stuff for 20 years, and I can tell you that it works. It works spectacularly. It's the basis of a lot of my coaching, and my breakout coaching works around that. I have not run regular NLP trainings in the UK for some time. However, I'm getting bombarded now with messages and emails saying, please, 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 will you do that? So I intend to do that. If any of you would like to come and learn how to do this, then I'm happy to teach you. Shaquille A. Chauhan, can you fake confidence on stage? Yes, you can. I would stress that if you're faking confidence on stage, if you do it properly, then you will develop the confidence on stage because you will educate your mind to do it. If you are faking it without actually experiencing it, the object of the exercise here is that you put on the physiology in order to trigger the internal experience. So done properly, it will work marvels. It really will work marvels. So if you are, or you know somebody who lacks that confidence, then you can do that. I do it regularly with people that I'm preparing for their role in presenting or teaching or training or speaking. Do it regularly. Hope that helps. Jimmy, what about in business? I can see how it works in stage presenting. In business, okay, so let's think about it in business. Salespeople. One of the things that salespeople really need is to have that kind of presence, that confidence at approaching people, whether it be a cold call on the telephone, cold call face-to-face, whether it be in pitching and presenting a product. Yeah. So the as-if frame will work with that. Networking. Most of the people that are currently watching this this Facebook Live probably get involved in networking at some stage. A lot of people either don't go to networking meetings and therefore miss out on the great opportunities because they feel that they don't have the confidence to do it, or when they're there, they kind of tuck themselves away in the corner. You'll spot them. They're the person who's standing on their own with the cup of coffee, and if anyone looks like approaching them, they'll lose the eye contact, or they'll suddenly find something to pick up and read and look busy. So networking, it's a phenomenal tool in business, as we all know. And developing the as-if frame, using the as-if frame in order to build that confidence for networking is vital. Most people who are running a business want to connect with other people who run businesses. Building that confidence will enable them to do that. So pretty much any area of business is prime ground for utilizing this process and developing it. I've been running programs out in the Middle East and in India called Executive NLP, which is basically all of the juicy stuff from the world of NLP that applies itself literally into the world of business, whatever level you're at, whether you are a shop floor worker, whether you're a supervisor, a junior manager, a middle manager, a senior manager, or the great white chief who sits in the ivory tower. There is something in there for everybody, and it really works. It literally really works. Shaquille, thanks. You're welcome, my friend. Let's do some more sometime. Right, so Shaquille now says, I think this fake it till you make it concept applies mostly to the sales and business arena. In my 25-year sales career, it was a tool to create confidence in advance of your actual success. The answer to that is yes. Phenomenally good in the sales environment. I've also used it in working with teachers and with college and university lecturers. Now, what frequently happens is that they learn a lot of the strategies and the techniques in order to teach. And what they're lacking is some of the internal resource, the qualities, in order to have that connection as a teacher or as a lecturer or as a trainer. I've worked also with customer service personnel in helping them to be confident. The call center staff, what a stressful job that can be. Call center staff need all the help they can get. And one of the things that we did with a couple of call centers over in India is to work with them on as-if frames in order to build that calm as well as the confidence to deal with issues when people are phoning in who basically have a problem and they want somebody to deal with that problem. So pretty much any area of business. Sales springs to mind automatically to a lot of people, especially people who have a sales background. But you look across the whole board and you'll find something in there. Okay. Anyone else got a question for me? Okay, good. So, the world of NLP has much to offer. The as-if frame, fake it till you make it, has a lot to offer. Used ethically. Just walking on stage and pretending to be knowledgeable is not the essence, the true meaning of fake it till you make it. Walking on stage with the physiology of the confidence that creates the connection with people in the context of educating your mind to be able to do that regularly, that'll do it. Okay. Hi, Jazz. Jazz is turning up just as we all go home. Nice to see you, Jazz. Anyone got another question for me before I round up? Abid's joined us as well. Nice to see you guys. Abid says, hello all. Hey, Abid, this is not a networking meeting. Get off. Only joking. So, fake it till you make it works. As-if frame works. If you have questions or any more questions on this, please feel free to contact me. My email address is ralph@ralphwatson.com. I'll repeat that for you. ralph@ralphwatson.com. So if you are watching this now and you have any question about how I can help you to understand this more, then I am happy to do so. Jimmy, no, I won't start over. This is being recorded, so you will be able to watch it again afterwards. I hope this has been beneficial to you. If any of you want to learn more about the fascinating world of NLP, neurolinguistics, how to do it and use it properly, then please contact me. I promise you I will be running some programs soon. And until the next time, I'm going to sign off by saying I hope this has been helpful. Oh, Mariam, can this work on improving self-esteem? Yes, absolutely. So this is a part of the whole process. How do you define self-esteem? First, establish what the client means by self-esteem. That is the context in which you use it, and that will enable you to fire that self-esteem. Self-belief, confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, whatever it is that they want, whatever context they want to use it in, then you can do it. So I'm going to wind up now. Please watch this through on the recording. Please hit the like button. Please feel free to share it. I will be doing so as well. And I will be around with some more tips very soon. Until then, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for giving me your time and sharing your evening with me. And I will look forward to speaking to you all soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.